Hi, Taurus. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. Welcome to September. So, I'm going with a bit of an Asian theme. I hope I'm not being appropriationist or whatever it is that you call it. But I was just feeling all of my cards from that region. So, I'm going to go with what thus saith the Spirit. We'll be reading from the I-Ching. That's Klaus Holitzka's deck, who is German. So, sorry if it ain't, 100%. I'm also going to be reading from the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power cards. We're going to pull one from that deck, and then I'm going to wind up with the Chinese Tarot, which I'll be pulling out and doing your tarot reading from there. All right, so while I am getting this I Ching going for Taurus September, I Ching Taurus September, please. I need two cards for Taurus for September. I went ahead and took the liberty of pre-shuffling for the Shakti Wisdom, Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power. And you all have the infant Ganesha. That's a good sign, because that means that gateways can be opened up for you. Doorways can be unlatched or unhooked for you. The baby Ganesha is the one that we go to when we want for our obstacles to be removed. So for others of you who are studying other pantheons, and then we're talking about Eshua Legba. We're also talking about, let's see, who else? Anansi for some, the spider for some, the crow, just wherever that sits. But the keeper of the crossroads, the one that keeps the cross, Christ, is on the cross. So I know I'm mixing it up. Somebody getting ready to get upset about it. But at any rate, we're talking about removing obstacles. So if you've had obstacles in your past, if you've been struggling with that and feel like you haven't been getting anywhere, then September is the month for that movement to happen. All right, so for the I Ching, we've pulled number 7 for you. Lucky number 7. Spiritual number 7. We will be pulling another card for the changing lines, and here that is. All right, so I hope I'm going to read from this book. I need to get my glasses. Hold on, I'll be right back. My glasses were right there in my lap. Unbelievable. It's that kind of energy today. So please bear with me, and I appreciate you bearing with me. All right, here, Taurus, we got number 7, number 7, number 7. 7 is a highly spiritual number. So, sounds good to me. This is about collective force. It says the struggle against an external opponent or a part of yourself always involves an element of risk. Notice it said an external opponent or a part of yourself. So if you're struggling, if the opponent is you, Taurus, then there's an element of risk involved. If you want to win, then you have to deploy all your strength as any good commander would do. So if you're talking about yourself, you're having to be the commander of yourself. You're going to have to be the commander and the army if the struggle is within. Victory requires iron discipline, good perspective, and strategic skill. That means you're going to have to be objective. Perseverance and a sense of justice are prerequisites for maintaining control of the situation. Keep in mind the power of human feelings and needs, so don't forget about the other. Remain courageous and understanding, and through this, foster a sense of unity among your allies. First of all, you should scrupulously and impartially ascertain whether the struggle is just and absolutely necessary. So, this is a really interesting passage because it does bring up the subject of it being an external battle or the possibility of it being an internal battle that's going on. So for some of you out there, this is an external battle. For some of you, it's an internal battle. But what do we know? The external battles usually just mirror the internal battles. So it's best to go within anyway to see what's going on or see how this is shaping up and what the deeper meaning is for you. So for those of you who are struggling, all right, that's why Infant Ganesha is here for you to remove these obstacles. But the obstacle, it seems to me, is the war within. You got a war going on within, but you have to ask yourself if what you're fighting about, is it necessary or is it just one of the other or both? If it's external or if it's internal. But always, if it's external, always look at what the internal message is, because you don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. So good information for you. We're looking at the changing lines here. We got 1 is a changing line, 2 is a changing line. Oh, all the damn things are changed. All right, so we'll be reading all 6 lines. All right, let me show you this. I didn't show you this. This is your original card here. These are the changing lines. So if you can see, yeah, all of them are changing lines in this case. So we read all 6 lines, and each line, whatever resonates with you, wherever it makes sense to you, if something jumps out at you, then that's the material that you take home and share with yourself later. All right, line 1. There should be good grounds for taking up arms. So for some of you all, those internal conflicts or external conflicts, you got to go to war about it. Once you have made the decision, you should be disciplined and carry out the resolve with all your might. Failure threatens through indecision. So you got to be in a decision-making position, some of you. Okay? That sounds like those of you who are having the external conflicts. Okay? You have to make a decision, and that decision has to be tied to your inner truth. Okay? It doesn't say this here in the passage. I'm extrapolating. All right? You have to be disciplined and carry out the resolve with all your might. And that goes back to being disciplined. Now, a lot of times people think about discipline and they think about, oh, I've got to, I don't know, I have to be on a diet for X number of days, or I have to fast and pray. And I'm not saying that that's not a part of it. That may be a part of your process. But in this case, we're talking about the discipline of making a decision. And that is based on, 1, you having all the information that you need. Let me go back to it. Okay. Good perspective, strategic skills. Victory requires iron discipline, good perspective, and strategic skills. So you need to be employing those things. All right, line number 2. When leading others into battle, you should share joy as well as sorrow with them. Friendly and kind behavior motivates your companions. So for some of you all are leading a force against something else. And I know that's been happening a lot because some of you are fighting about having to go back into a corona environment, or an environment that threatens your life. So some of you are out there battling with others. If you are in a leadership position, then what this is telling you is to not only share the battle, the hard part, that's the thing that's motivating the push toward whatever battle you're in with this outside force that we're talking about. But you have to remember to share the joys of the struggle with your people, as well as what may be fueling that fire. Friendly and kind behavior motivates your companion. So remember, in that case, you remember what you're fighting for. You're not there to fight each other. Line 3, this conflict lacks leadership and clarity. Be aware of incompetence and infighting. This would be the shortest course to failure. All right, so for some of you, there are conflicts. The reason why the conflict is there is because there's no leadership and no clear vision. And without vision, the people perish. So if you got a leader and you got a person in a position of leadership and they don't have any vision and they're trying to lead you, you're going to have a problem, right? Incompetence and infighting. Now, you're going to have to determine what you're going to do about that. Infighting, stay away from it. Incompetence, you're going to have to learn you're going to have to maneuver the incompetence depending on where the incompetence is. Because you got to think about this. What if the incompetence comes from the top? What if the person who's at the top, who's in the leadership position, who doesn't have any vision, if they don't have a vision, they're incompetent. But you can't very well, you got to think about how you're going to handle that. Okay, line 4. In a hopeless conflict, it is a sign of courage and strength to pull back instead of destroying yourself and family in a senseless battle. Some of you are battling family members. Pull back instead of destroying yourself and the family in a senseless battle. Again, that goes back to deciding or ascertaining whether the struggle is just and absolutely necessary, because some of it is tied to ego. Some people are having a battle because of their ego. They don't want to just be quiet and sit down. It happens. Line 5, don't be afraid of the defense of a just cause, but you require an experienced advisor to prevent the struggle from degenerating into senseless aggression. Oh, okay. Some of you all who are leading causes need to find the Tauruses in your camp, because this is good information, and they are the ones who it seems like will be able to keep your finger on the pulse of this situation. Because Tauruses are very grounded people, and they can, discern what's really important versus what isn't a lot of times. So it might be a good idea for those of you who are not Tauruses, if you get your hands on this video, but you're leading causes, find your Taurus people. It says, don't be afraid of the defense of a just cause, but you require an experienced advisor to prevent the struggle from degenerating into senseless aggression, because that happens. That's what, when we're talking about incompetence and infighting, also in that line about sharing the sorrow and the joy, like you can get caught up in your own drama sometimes. And then when you get caught up in your own drama, then it disintegrates. The reason for it disintegrates into some other something, and now it's no longer what the cause is. It's a very slippery slope. So be thinking about that. Line 6, victory is possible. All those involved are subsequently rewarded according to their effort, but consider the character of each one. Causing trouble could undo all the good work. All right. All right. So Taurus, it looks like some of you guys are out there on the front lines. Some of you are on the front lines out in society. Some of you all are in front lines in your family. Some of you are on the front line within yourself. Either way it goes, just listen to that or heed that or take that into consideration. And of course, you have the baby Ganesha on your side to open up the gateways and the doorways and to prevent those obstacles from getting in your way. All right, we're moving right along to the tarot. This is where we get into some detailing for the month of September. We're just going to look at whatever comes, and we keep pulling until Spirit says that's enough. That'll do. That's what my aunt used to say. That'll do. All right, Taurus. This is for the month of September. For the sign of Taurus. Those people with Taurus in their chart. Sun, moon, rising, or other. Oh, we got quite a bit going on here. I'm only taking one at a time today. So we got the Seven of Cups here. The Seven of Cups. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Seven of Cups season. This is the Seven of Cups season. It started last month. And it's still going on and on and on and on. What this is about is, everything that you dreamed or that you wanted or that you wished for is now materializing. It's now coming into form. It's now taking shape. And so what happens with the Seven of Cups is like everything that you put out in the universe, it comes back. And now you get a chance to see it for what it is. You can see it up close and personal. For some of you all, you are still envisioning this. You're still thinking about the pie in the sky ideal about the thing. But you have to look at all of it, and then you have to weigh your options. Which one are you going to choose then? So of all the things that you prayed for, that you wanted, now you have to make a choice. Because to do all of it would be too much, and probably some of it would be detrimental, right? So it's the Seven of Cups time. It's time to examine that part. All right, so I see you going in. You are, you could be, yeah, I see you going in. This is the Hermit card here. Hermit card is about going in to find the light. In this case, going in to find out what's really important. Again, we're talking about that inner conflict or that outer conflict. We're talking about obstacles that need to be removed. So it seems like, the obstacles, they're not really any obstacles. What it is that you have to make a decision. And so in order to make the decision, you have to go in. You have to go in, you have to go in, you have to go in. All right, so we got a Queen of Swords here. That's that discipline for you, okay? That's the discipline that we talked about. Queen of Swords represents someone who knows how to set boundaries, knows what it is that is needed at any given time, and doesn't stray from that. She doesn't get into a whole lot of fluff and a whole lot of extraness. She doesn't do the most. She does what is needed at the moment. That goes back to what we were saying before about determining what is really necessary. Remember? And she makes a decision about what it is that's going to be done, right? So it doesn't matter so much about the gender. It just matters about where you sit with that and where you have to be with that for the month of September, Taurus. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to set some boundaries and you're going to have to stick to them, right? The Three of Coins here is about focus, having an aim, having your focus, and having your eye on the thing that you most want. This goes back to the Seven of Cups energy and how you have to make a decision. You've got to narrow it down. And narrowing it down is about being disciplined. You have to be disciplined with yourself. You have to be objective. Remember what I said? It may be a lot of things that you want, but you got to ask yourself, what do I need to do right now? What is the most important thing right now? And that's why you have to go in. So you just have to focus on that. And you got to get your aim together. You got to get really, really focused, Taurus, on that. You're going to have to narrow some things down. Yes, here we go again. Order with the Emperor coming in. The Emperor card is always about setting new order and setting a new boundary. And it looks like you're going to be in your Queen of Swords energy with that. The Queen of Swords, more or less, when you're talking about the Emperor, you're talking about the order. You're talking about your order. What is going to keep order in your life? What is going to keep the situation that you're in orderly? If you are leading a group of people, what is the rules and the standards that you're going to go by? What the Queen does is she sets the parameters, really. Now, the King of Swords can do the same thing, but the Queen of Swords does this internally. She does this from an intuitive way, from sensing, more so than, lowering the boom and, and that kind of thing, and setting the rules and that kind of thing. That's important too. That's more King of Swords energy. But the Queen has to sense what's happening, and she also has to discern what is the best course of action, and that involves not just rules and orders, but it also involves some of those nuanced aspects of decision making as well, because feelings can't be excluded from a decision making process when you are operating intuitively. You can't excommunicate it no more than you can excommunicate the bare facts of how things have to be, right? Some people have lofty ideals, but they don't know how to bring them down to planet Earth. And some people only have planet Earth ideas and they can't think of nothing lofty. You need a balance of both. Ten of Coins tells me that there is something in the works coming your way. It looks like some prosperity is available to you. You have to garner some strength first before you do that. And you also have to, again, get in control or get a sense of narrowing those things down to the bare essentials. And then when you do that, then you can command a little bit more. But right now, Taurus, it looks like you got to get those parameters in place. You got to get your boundaries set. You got to know your territory. You got to know your role. You got to know your position. You don't need to be all over the place. Talk to a spirit. Oh, I thought something flipped out. Yeah, a little bit tricky. All right. Anything else for Taurus for the month of September? Wow. That was quick and to the point. All right. So the main thing is know that in the month of September, you're going to be going in a little bit so that you can make some good decisions. You're going to look at everything that's on your table right now. You're going to narrow your focus. You're looking at everything that's on the table. You're going to narrow it down, top three. And then some of you may be able to narrow it down to the top two or even the top one. That'll even be better, because the more you are, the narrower your focus, the better the outcome will be as far as what you are able to handle and manage and take care of, because there's no need in trying to do all of it and then you end up losing in the end, what it is that you're trying to gain. The main thing that you need to focus on is your rules and order. You need to think about your boundaries. You need to think about what you're doing, what your role is, and stick to that. Try not to get outside of that. That's also a part of self-discipline as well. Because if you can do that, if you can take care of you, if you can put a hedge around yourself and say, this is my area, this is my lane, I'm going to do that, then it will garner respect from the people around you if you are leading a group of people. If you do that just for yourself, you will feel a lot less scattered. You won't be feeling all over the place. And you'll also be able to concentrate all your energy into the one thing that really, really needs your attention right now. And that will allow what you're doing to be beneficial in the end. That's what you're really looking for. So I hope that this has been good for you, Taurus. I hope that you are having a fruitful time in September. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you enjoy your September. And I hope you're having a wonderful life.